I used to think that getting into really good physical shape would mean that I would have to go to the gym 6 times per week and for an hour to sometimes even an hour and a half each session. However, as I progressed through my fitness journey, I realized that this was completely wrong and not the case at all. So in this video, I'm going to go over a couple bodybuilding myths which a lot of people fall into, and I'm actually going to show you exactly how, even if you're lazy, you can build a really nice, good physique off just 3 45-minute sessions per week. One of the biggest issues with the fitness influencing industry is a lot of these people who you see online, a lot of people in LA, places like America, or even in London, a lot of them kind of promote this lifestyle where you have to be in the gym 24/7 in order to look like them and in order to put on a ton of muscle. They promote that, some of them go to the gym 2 times a day, and they promote that you have to be in the gym for an hour to an hour and a half and just go 5 6 7 days a week in order to just put on a decent amount of size and muscle and to burn down fat and to look how they do. So the problem with a lot of these influencers is, although they are going as often as they say, very likely, a lot of times a ton of these people are actually lying to you about steroid use. So many influencers you see online, their income's directly correlated with how good their physique looks because they've set themselves up in a way where their whole lifestyle brand is just associated with their physique. So therefore, if their physique looks better, it's going to mean they make more money. So a lot of them are actually using steroids, using things like peptides and anabolic steroids and things like this, just to try and enhance their physique as much as possible. And a lot of times, these influencers aren't being open about it and say that they're natural when they're actually not. So this is a huge problem because if you're going this often, it's going to lead to your body just breaking down and leading to way too much fatigue, unless you're taking a ton of steroids and peptides on the side to really help boost that recovery and put your body in a state where it can recover and build muscle tissue to an unnatural extent. So this is what a lot of these people online are doing who promote going to the gym so often, 6 7 times a week, and going for an hour and a half. A lot of them don't tell you that they're actually enhanced and they're actually injecting themselves with steroids, peptides, which actually really help boost their performance in the gym. So this is a huge issue which is happening right now in the fitness industry, which I see quite a lot. A lot of people just say that you need to put in way too much effort than you actually need to if you want to build a decent physique. So my first point is that if you want to actually build a ton of decent muscle and get into really good athletic shape, you actually only need 3 workouts per week to do this. Now, although this probably won't get you to the point where you're going to look like a lot of these influencers online, a lot of people don't actually want to look like this. And chances are, if you're watching this video, you just want to know how you can build a ton of muscle and get the highest bang for your buck for the sessions that you go to the gym. And the way that you can do this is just by training 3 days per week. So the way that I would structure this is I would do one upper body day in my first session on Monday, and then on Wednesday I would just do one leg session, then on Friday I would just do another upper body day. So the reason why this works so well is because your legs are some of your largest muscle groups, so they actually take a little bit longer to actually recover. So if you only hit them once a week, it's not going to be too detrimental. You're still going to be able to put on a ton of muscle. However, it would be better to do this twice a week if you want to build your legs fast. Although I found that building up your legs too much just kind of overshadows your upper body and your upper physique. So therefore, I just prefer to do this once a week, and I have 2 upper body sessions per week in there as well. So studies have proven that if you hit each muscle group twice a week, it's going to lead to the quickest and the most efficient amount of muscle growth. And it's going to tear the muscle tissue. It's going to be able to recover in time, and you're going to be able to get the most bang for your buck if you're going twice a week and hitting each muscle group 2 times. So this is why I have 2 upper body sessions in there. On Monday, you can just do 1 exercise per muscle group. So you can do 1 for chest, 1 for back, for arms, shoulders, so on and so forth. And then by the time you're at Friday, it's been 96 hours or so. It's been 4 full days. And your muscles are going to be fully recovered and ready to go again. And this time, if you go back and hit them again, it's going to lead to building up that muscle tissue. It's going to lead to increasing the hypertrophy process, and your muscles are going to be fully recovered. So when you create that stimulus, it's going to be fresh and it's going to lead to a lot more muscle growth. So because of this, you only actually really need to go 3 days a week. If you're going any more than that, it can be helpful. For example, if you're hitting legs twice a week and you went 4 days a week. But if you're actually hitting the upper body anything more than 2 times a week, what's going to happen is your muscles haven't fully recovered. They haven't grown back stronger yet. They're still torn. And if you're just tearing them again when your muscles are still torn and haven't fully recovered, you're just going to lead to a lot more fatigue. Your body's not going to recover as well, and your strength gains are just going to go down. It's also massively going to increase your chance of injury. So it actually just kind of backfires and works against you. If you want to check out my paid program, that's going to be the first link in the description. I've got 2 hours worth of modules on techniques, exercises, workouts, dial meal plans, and I've also put in my own push-pull legs and upper lower split in there as well, with explanations on how to do these exercises. So if you want to check that out, that's just going to be the first link in the description. So the reason why only training 3 days a week and only going for about 45 minutes per session is because your training intensity actually is going to massively go up when you're in the gym. So you're going to get a higher return on investment each time you go to the gym, as opposed to going 5, 6, 7 times a week. And the reason for this is because you're going to be more excited and you're going to be more motivated to actually go to the gym and train. So I've found personally that the times when I'm going to the gym all the time, it just seems like going to the gym is just kind of like a drag. It's just a chore, and it's just like a box to tick off for the day, something that you just need to get done for the day. And it's actually not really productive at that point, because you're going there with the wrong mindset. You're going there just thinking, oh, it's a gym session, I just have to get this done for the day. You're not actually going in there thinking that it's a joy to train and actually looking at what your goals are for the session anymore and what you actually want to achieve from your workout. Instead, you're just thinking that go, get it done, and then just get out. So if you switch this up and you only go 3 days a week, what you're going to find is your motivation, your excitement to train is really going to go up. And so this is just going to lead to you naturally putting on more muscle and finding it more exciting to go and train, which is going to lead to it being more sustainable, and it's just going to make it a lot more fun, which is a huge part of the whole process as well. So in addition to this, you're also going to find that if you only go 3 days a week, it's just going to create a lot less fatigue on your body than if you went 5, 6, 7 days a week. So this is going to mean that during each set, you can actually go a lot closer to failure, and it's not going to matter as much because you're giving your body all that more time to recover and repair itself. So if you were going 5, 6, 7 days a week, you would either have to cut down and not go to failure on each session, which is a lot less productive, or you would just, if you went to failure, like I said before, it's just going to lead to way too much damage to your muscle tissues, way too much fatigue, and you're not going to actually recover properly. So this is where going only 3 days a week is actually going to really work for you. You can actually really push the intensity. You're going to have more motivation to do that as well. And you can just push the intensity up and go until 1 rep until failure, and just kind of like go a little bit heavier as well. And you're going to find that this doesn't seem like as much of a drag, and you're going to find that this doesn't cause as much fatigue on your body. And you can actually push this next level higher than if you were going 6 or 7 days a week. And you actually come back to the gym a lot stronger and a lot fuller next time you go to the gym and do the same muscle groups. So this is a point which is really going to help you with the hypertrophy process, and it's actually really going to help you build muscle fast. So the last point which I want to make is these sessions don't need to be anywhere longer than 45 minutes per session. Maybe like an hour is the absolute max. So if you've seen people who online say that you need to be training for 90 minutes or sometimes even 60 minutes, 75 minutes, a lot of it's just completely false because they don't actually understand how much all this volume is going to affect your body, and it's just going to lead to you actually not being able to recover properly from the gym, which is going to set back your strength, increase your chance of injury, and decrease your muscle growth. So when you're going to the gym and when you're working out, you only actually need 10 to 12 sets per workout. If you're going anything above this, maybe the upper max you could do is like 15, but if you're going anything above this, you're just going to get too fatigued. Your body's just going to start to break down. You're going to start to get injured, and you're just not going to be able to recover as well as you should be able to. So therefore, if you want to just keep these you want to keep these workouts to just 45 minutes max each time. For an analogy on this, imagine if you were going to a sports field and you were doing your sport workout with your training for your team. Imagine if instead of just going for like 45 minutes to an hour, which is like the general kind of hour-long sports training that we would have, imagine if your coach said that you had to come to 2 hours each time. What's going to happen is after that first 45 minutes to an hour, the level of motivation is just going to start to decrease in your team because you've been there so long. You're kind of doing the same things over and over. And actually, it's just going to be detrimental because the next time your team goes to train, they're not going to be as energetic. They're not going to be looking forward to it. They're going to have to go there for the full 2 hours. And it just starts to drag on and on. So it's actually kind of the same thing with going to the gym. If you put in way too many sets each time you go to the gym, you're just going to really kind of dread actually starting to go to the gym. And it's just going to be so much less productive when you are there. And in addition to that, these extra reps and set ranges that you add on, they're actually just going to backfire and work against you. And they're not going to help you put on muscle. So you only really need to structure your workouts. I would only just do 10 to 12, maybe 13, and an absolute max 15 sets per workout. Just do a couple sets per muscle group. Studies have shown that on the first set per muscle group, the first working set, where you're pushing close to failure, this is going to lead to 70% of the total hypertrophy that you can actually get out of that muscle. It's going to lead to 70% of that tear and the muscle stimulus you can get. And then the second set is going to lead to 90%. So if you're going anything beyond 2 to 3 sets per muscle group per session, you're actually you don't need to be doing this, and you're just kind of fighting over that final few percentage, and the return on the effort you put in isn't that high. So if you want to structure your workouts, just do 10 to 12 sets per workout, couple of working sets per muscle group, and that's actually all you need to do to build a really good physique.